Hi everyone, welcome to our second class of Introduction to Strategic Cost Management. In the previous class, we have already studied about what does strategy means, what is cost, what is management, and what is the need of SCM. We have already studied about this in the previous class. Let's just try to revise that first and then we'll continue with our today's topic. So we have understood that what does strategic means. Strategic is related to strategy. Now what is strategy? Strategy is run, niti. Run means war, niti means thinking or approach behind that war. So are we going to study about wars here? Tell me. Answer is no. We are not going to study about war, but the thing is, similar war-like situations happen in businesses also. So if war needs strategy, then businesses also need strategy. The reason is, if war has enemies, businesses has competitors. In war, if we want to win over the enemy so that we can have victory or land as prize, in businesses, we want to win over competitors so that we can have customers as prize. So we customers are the prize of business for which they are fighting with each other. And that is why we want to make strategy so that we can win over the competitors and perform better than the competitors in a longer period of time. And that is what strategy helps us to do. But the thing is, we normally get confused that is strategy a plan? Is strategy actually is the end goal which we want to achieve? But the answer is, end goal is something different than strategy and the plan is something different than strategy. What does all of these mean? Let's just understand. First of all, the end goal which you want to achieve, let's say in case of war, we want to win the war, right? So this end goal is known as vision of the party or vision of the businesses. Like in my business, the teaching business, I want to achieve. What I want to achieve? I want to teach all the CMA students at least once and always get all India ranks from my classes. Like 1, 2, 3. At least at AR1 to AR10, I want from my classes. If I'm dreaming, let's just dream big, right? I want to get all the ARs from my classes. This is the vision of me, right? So this is the end goal for which I'm working. This is something different than the strategy. Why? Because strategy is made to achieve that vision. Strategy is made to achieve that end goal. Strategy is not the end goal. Strategy helps us to achieve that end goal. So what does strategy does? Strategy makes integrated set of choices, and these linked or integrated set of choices are known as strategy. So we'll make different linked choices to achieve our vision which we have made earlier. Now, what is plan? Plan helps us to execute the strategy. In strategy, we have decided that what all choices we will make. But the thing is, how this will be actually executed will be decided in plan itself. So vision is the end goal for which we are making strategy, and how this strategy will be executed will be decided from plan itself. Done. Now let's just understand the definition of strategy. We have already understood this in the previous class, right? Let's just try to recall it once together. Now, strategy is what? Is an integrated set of choices. Integrated means linked set of choices. For actions. For actions means these choices we are making so that we can understood that what all actions we need to take and what all actions we are not going to take. Now, why we are making this integrated set of choices and why we are taking these actions? So that we can position ourselves in an industry. In the industry in which we are working, we want to position ourselves. Now, when we say industry, it means the market, the competitors or the customers. We want to position ourselves in their eyes and we want to position ourselves over competitors so that customers always get attracted to us, right? Now, so strategy is an integrated set of choices for actions which positions our firm in an industry Why we want to position ourselves in an industry? To achieve competitive advantage and superior financial return. See, strategy is made for achieving the end goal, but we want to achieve that end goal continuously and always. And that is why strategy mainly focuses on the competitive advantage and superior financial return, because when you have the competitive advantage, that means you are performing better than the competitors. And when you are earning superior financial return, that means you are earning more than competitors. And when you are able to do both of these, you will be able to fulfill your vision continuously and for a longer period of time as a particular company want to. And that is what strategy is. So let's just collect all of these and try to recall the definition again. Strategy is an integrated set of choices for actions which positions a firm in an industry to achieve long-term competitive advantage and superior financial returns. Done. Now, this was about strategy, that what does strategy actually mean? But what strategy does? Strategy helps us to match our firm's capability with the available opportunity. See, the examples we have already seen in our previous class. Let's just try to recall them. The Indigo example says that Indigo is good enough to perform its operation efficiently and at lower cost as compared to that of competitors. And this is the capability of Indigo. Now, what is the available opportunity? People are there who want to travel through air and are ready to pay lesser amount. They want affordable travel, right? So what Indigo did is, it matched its capability of low cost operation with the available opportunity of people who are there who want to travel through air but want it in an affordable manner. So this capability of Indigo is matched with the available opportunity. Similarly, in case of Apple, if you notice, Apple focuses on the design, innovation and differentiation. So if you are focusing on design and innovation so much, then you are going to spend a lot. Completely opposite to that of Indigo. Indigo was focusing on low cost operation. But Apple is focusing on innovative products even if they want to have more cost in this particular situation also. They are ready for the same. But the thing is, if they are incurring higher cost, then they actually want higher prices as well. So is there a market who is ready to pay higher prices for innovative products, differentiated products? Answer is yes. So what Apple did is, Apple matched its capability of making different products, innovative products, with the available opportunity of people who are ready to pay premium prices for these different products. Right? So if you notice, Indigo was focusing on different sector. It was focusing on low cost market. Similarly, Apple was focusing on the high cost or premium price market. So in businesses, we can have any of these type of strategy. Like we can focus on the cost leadership, where we are reducing our cost and grabbing those customers which want affordable products, or else we can focus on the premium market, which is ready to pay premium prices for the premium products. Right? And that is what different types of strategy means. We have a cost leadership strategy which Indigo followed, and which we have product differentiation strategy which Apple followed. Now, what strategy actually aims to achieve? We have already studied about this in our definition, that strategy wants to achieve superior financial return and long-term competitive advantage. When you will get superior financial return? When you are providing value to the customer. Value can be anything. If you are providing a product with lower cost, that is also value for the customer. Or else if you are providing a product with differentiation or innovation at higher prices, that is also value for the customer. So we want to have superior financial return and long-term competitive advantage. For superior financial return, we need to create value for the customer, which will be created by cost leadership or product differentiation. Done. So strategy aims to achieve value for the customer, which at the end means superior financial return, and we want to get advantage over the competitors. Now this was all about strategy, which we have studied in the previous class. Now what does cost means? Cost means the expense. But the thing is, when we see cost in our strategic cost management, we just not focusing on the expense part of it. We are focusing on what long-term impact this particular cost is creating in our company. Let's take an example. If we are having raw material and we are treating it as only as expense, then we'll definitely try to reduce it. If we are thinking of something as an expense, then we'll try to reduce it, right? But the thing is, when we see it under strategic cost management, we'll see that whether having this higher cost of raw material is actually helping us in different activities or not. So when we have higher price material, that means that we are getting higher quality materials. And if we are getting higher quality materials, then it will help our workers to perform the work better. There will be less wastage, less scrap, and at the end, the final product will also become quality products. If the raw material is of good quality, then we'll get a good final product also. So we found out that having a greater expense on a raw material is actually helping us in longer period of time. And that is how cost is evaluated in strategic cost management. Now let's focus on the last word, that is management. Management means planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. So we are going to follow this process under this strategic cost management also. But the thing is, the management is happening of what? Planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling is happening for cost. But the thing is, we don't just want to manage cost in such a way that we are focusing on reducing it. We want to focus it on a longer perspective, that in longer period of time, whether this particular cost is actually helping us or not. So we are going to plan, we are going to organize, staff, direct and control our cost, but we will do that thinking about what that particular cost is having a long-term impact on us. Done. So this was strategic cost and management. We have seen all of these differently. Now let's just see collectively that what does strategic cost management actually means. So strategic cost management is what? Cost management for strategic issues. So that is our first definition. That refers, strategic cost management refers to cost management that specifically focuses on the strategic issues. Now strategic issues, what are the strategic issues? So we have two different types of strategies. First one is cost leadership and the second one is product differentiation. So we have these two types of strategic issues only. The first one focuses on the cost part, which says that we want to be productive, more productive than that of our competitors, more efficient than that of our competitors. Our production process should have lower cost than that of competitors, and that is our issue. We need to focus on these issues and improve ourselves. Similarly, when we focus on product differentiation, our main issue is that how will I make my product innovative or different than that of competitor, plus how much higher price I can charge. Like, we understand that if your product is differentiated, you can charge higher price, but you can't charge anything. You need to be at a price which is actually feels valuable to the customer, right? So that is your issue, that what should be the higher price which we can charge to our competitors when we are making an innovative product. Done. So this was our first definition of strategic cost management. Next, we understood that strategy gives us direction, but the thing is, strategic cost management gives us cost-based insight, which helps us to decide the strategy itself, that what does we will follow, what will be our strategy, what will be our linked choices which we are going to take. We are going to decide that also with the help of strategic cost management. If you want to implement your strategy, you will use strategic cost management. If you want to communicate your strategy to everyone in the organization, that what particular thing they have to do for achieving that strategy, you are going to do that also with the help of strategic cost management. If you want to control the strategy, that whether whatever we have made the strategy as, are we actually following it? Are we actually doing it in the same manner as we have planned? that also will be done or evaluated by strategic cost management. So strategic cost management is going to help us in every stage of strategy, whether it be choosing the strategy, implementing it, communicating it, or controlling it. And as these are the stages of strategy, these are also the stages of strategic cost management, because in every stage of strategy, we are using strategic cost management, right? So stages of strategic cost management is formulation or choosing the strategy, implementation of strategy, communication and control of strategy. We have already understood that strategy is linked set of choices. But how these choices are made? If I have different options, then how will I choose that which option is better for me according to my situation? For that also strategic cost management helps us, and for that strategic cost management follows a particular process, and that process is IAMER. I is identifying that what all options are available with you. First of all, identify them and identify what all relevant costs will be there in all the situations, all the options. What is relevant cost? Relevant cost is the cost which is different in that particular situation itself, which not applies to all the options, which applies to that particular option only. Let's take an example that if I have two different options, first one is outsourcing the production and second one is I can produce the product myself. If I'm outsourcing the product, then in that case I'll have supplier's price which the supplier will charge for producing my product, right? And that particular price is not gonna apply in case of when I'm going to produce the product. So this is a relevant cost which applies in that particular option itself. Now, if I talk about producing the product myself, then in that case I have to incur the cost of material, labor, machine operation costs, and these costs are completely different or completely applied to this situation only and is not applicable to outsourcing production. So we are taking the relevant cost which applies to that particular situation only. Now after taking it, you need to accumulate all cost. Collect the cost data from various sources. Like for material, I'll take the invoice prices or the invoices to check what all prices we have paid for material. Similarly, for labor, we can check the payroll to get or know the prices which we have paid to the labor. Now, after accumulating it, we need to measure it or calculate the total cost of it. Like after accumulating all the invoices, I'll calculate the total amount of material cost. After getting the payroll prices for labor, I'll calculate the total price which we have paid to the labor. Now, after measuring it, we'll analyze the cost. What is the behavior of the cost? Is the cost reacting as variable cost or fixed cost or as a semi-variable cost? We'll find it out in analyzing. And also, this cost belongs to which part of value chain? What is value chain? When we make the product, from getting the raw material to providing product to the customer, we add a lot of value in between. We perform different activities which add values in our product. Now this particular chain is known as value chain. We'll understand that this particular value chain in our today's class itself. But the thing is, just understand in basics that value chain is the chain through which value is added to the product in different activities. Now we'll find out that in this particular cost belongs to which part of value chain and how it is impacting that particular activity and other activities also. This is the way we analyze our cost, first through cost behavior and second through value chain analysis. Now, next we will interpret, we'll find out the conclusion or the result of it. Which one is better for us? Whether outsourcing production is the good one or in-house production is good for us. So we'll find it out through interpreting the results, through evaluating what all things we have analyzed till now. Now after getting the result, we need to make a report and provide it to the management. The report should include everything which you have done to get this particular result. Okay, so this is how a particular process is followed to make a choice. Now this process is continuous. Why continuous? Because in strategy we make linked set of choices. That means we are going to make different choices, and whenever you are going to make choice, you need to follow this particular process. Now this process gives us the result. This result is useful for both internal users and external users. Internal users are the managers or employees of the organization which are going to use this information for making strategy or decision making. External users are not going to directly use this information, but through financial reports, they are going to get the benefits of strategic cost management, like organization efficiency will improve, profitability will improve, and long-term growth will improve of the organization. And that will be seen in the financial reports as well, which will help the external users to decide whether to invest in this particular company or not. Done? Now, so this process which we have understood is actually stated in your book as a definition. So, SCM, that is strategic cost management, is a process of identifying, accumulating, measuring, analyzing, interpreting and reporting of what? Cost information, which is helpful for whom? Both internal and external groups. Now, why this particular process is followed? To make linked choices, and these linked choices should be such that we are utilizing our resources in a great manner and we are achieving our objective. So, why this process is followed? To decide or to use our resources in the better way. Like in this case, we are deciding between outsourcing production or making the product ourselves. So, why we are doing that? So that we can utilize our resource, that is money, in a greater way. If in-house making is helping us to achieve a lower cost, we'll go with that. If outsourcing production helps us to lower our cost, we'll go with that. So what we are doing is we are deciding how we are going to utilize our resources in a better way through this process. Done? And that is what is written here, that this process is concerned with the way in which organization is going to utilize its resources to achieve strategic objective. Done? Now, the last topic which we have seen in the previous class was need of SCM. Why we require this strategic cost management? The first thing is, it is an updated form of cost analysis. Earlier, we used to think of cost as an expense, but through strategic cost management, we are thinking about cost as what long-term impact it is creating in our business. Now, explains cost relationship in value chain. Our SCM helps us to find out that what cost plays relation in value chain activities. Like we have different activities in value chain which add values to our product. Now, if a higher cost is there in one particular activity, how it is helping other activities, we are able to understand that through strategic cost management. It helps us to develop the strategy or formulate the strategy which helps us to get competitive advantage or perform better than the competitors. We get an overall understanding of the cost structure, that how cost is behaving, like is it fixed, is it variable, is it semi-variable, and how cost is structured in our organization. It supports the whole strategic management process, and that is formulation, implementation, communication and control, which we have already seen earlier. Now let's start with our today's topic, and that is 3 pillars of strategic cost management. No need to write anything right now. Whenever there is a need of writing, I'll specifically mention it to you. For now, just listen and understand what are these 3 pillars. So what are pillars? Have you seen those vertical columns inside buildings which actually support the whole buildings? We have buildings of 20, 30 floors. How this whole building is supported? With the help of those vertical columns inside the buildings. In the similar fashion, as buildings need those pillars as a support system, strategic cost management also needs some support systems, and those support systems are known as pillars here. So we make strategy either of becoming a cost leader or a product differentiator. But first of all, we should know that where we actually belong. Are we actually working towards becoming a cost leader or a product differentiator? For that, we need strategic cost management. And strategic cost management takes help of these 3 pillars to identify that where we actually belong right now and what is our aim and whether we are working towards it or not. For that, we need these 3 pillars. The first pillar is strategic positioning analysis. As the name suggests, we are seeing ourselves as compared to competitors, that where we stand today, where we are positioned in the market. So, first of all, think about it. Whether you are a cost leader or a product differentiator, would you be able to know this without comparing yourself with the competitors? Answer is no. For knowing whether you are a cost leader or a product differentiator, you should compare yourself with the competitors. Because I can't define myself as a company who is selling product at the lower price. I should see first whether my competitors are selling the same product at higher price or not. Then only I'll be known as the person who is selling the same product at lower price. Similarly, if you want to see whether you are a product differentiator or not, you should compare yourself with the competitors. If competitor is not providing the same features which you are providing, then you are known as the product differentiator. Then only you will be known as product differentiator. Now, the first thing which we will do in strategic positioning analysis is, we'll find out that which group we belong to. Are we belonging to a cost leader group or a product differentiator group? How we will know this? If my product is exactly similar to that of my competitor, then I am in a cost leader group. If my product is somewhat different from that of my competitor, then I am in a product differentiator group. After finding out your group, you need to do another analysis to see whether you are better than the competitor, similar to that of your competitor, or worse than your competitors. I am in a cost leader group. How I find it out? As I am selling the same product, exactly same product as that of my competitor. But the thing is, if my product is higher priced as compared to my competitor, then I am doing worse than my competitor. If my product is exactly same and we both are selling at the same price, then we are doing similar to that of our competitor. If our product is exactly same, but I am selling my product at lower price, then I am doing better than my competitor. Similarly, in case of product differentiator also, we will find it out that whether we are better, worse, or similar to that of our competitor. If my product is different, but it is not as good as my competitors, then I am doing better than worse than my competitor. If my product is different, but the features which I am providing, the features my competitor is providing, though they are different, but they are giving the same output to the customer, then we are providing the same thing to the customer. If my product is different and doing something unique and innovative which customers are liking, then my product is doing better than the competitors. So the first thing which we do is strategic positioning analysis, where we first find out that which group we belong to. Are we in a cost leader group or a product differentiator group? And then we found out that where we actually stand. Are we better, similar, or worse than our competitor? This is our strategic positioning analysis. Now let's move forward to our next analysis, and that is cost driver analysis. We have vehicle drivers. Vehicle drivers are the one who is moving the vehicle, right? So vehicle is moving, the reason behind it is vehicle drivers. Similarly, cost drivers are the reason behind why the cost is moving, that is increasing, decreasing, or becoming similar to that of what it was previously. So completely cost is dependent on cost drivers. These are the cause or the reason behind which costs are incurred. Now these cost drivers, to understand that what actually cost driver mean, let's take some examples. So let's take material cost. Material cost is dependent on what? What is the reason behind which material cost is increasing or decreasing? Think about it. Units produced, right? If I am producing more units, then my material cost will be higher. If I am producing lesser units, then my material cost will be lower. Similarly, power cost is dependent on what? Power cost. Power is utilized for machines. So if you are using more machine hours, then your power cost will be higher. If you are using lesser machine hours, then your power cost will be lower. If we focus on the transport cost, it is dependent on the distance. If you will travel more or higher distance, then you need to bear higher transportation cost. If you are traveling at lesser distances, then you will be having lesser transportation cost. So these are the drivers of cost, or the reason behind which cost is increasing, decreasing, or incurred. Now, let's move towards two types of cost driver analysis. The first one is structural cost driver and the second one is executional cost driver. Structural cost driver, as the name suggests, it is integrated in our structure. It is involved in our structure, and structure is built for a longer period of time. Now let's take an example to understand this. Let's take example of location of factory. Would you be able to change your location every day of your factory? Answer is no. If we have made one factory, then we are going to be there for a longer period of time. We are not going to change it every day. And this location of factory is a structural cost driver. Now, how a location of factory can be a cost driver? How location of factory can be the reason of cost being incurred, increased or decreased? Think about it. If your location is such that where employees are not available or very less available, then you need to pay higher prices to employees. Similarly, if material is far away from your factory, then you might need to pay extra transportation cost for the same. So location of factory is actually a cost driver and a structural cost driver, which is a long-term factor affecting our cost. Similarly, technology used, we are not going to change it every day, and that is why this also affects our cost in a longer period of time. Think about it. If my technology is such that my complete work is automated, there is no need of employees. In such case, employee cost will be lower or negligible, but my machine hours or power cost will be huge. So, power cost and my labor cost is dependent on technology used. Similarly, scale of operation. Scale of operation is like how much capacity you are using in your organization. We don't change our capacity each and every day. We utilize the similar kind of capacity every time. And that is why scale of operation also affects the cost in a longer period of time. Distance. So, if my factory is located somewhere and my market is located at one place, then these places are not gonna change every day. And that is why the distance is not going to change every day. Hence, distance is a structural cost driver which affects our transportation cost. Done. Now let's move towards executional cost drivers. They are, as the name suggests, executional. That means day-to-day factors which affect our cost. And day-to-day factors is workers' efficiency, which keeps on changing every day. Units produced also changes every day. On the basis of requirement, we produce the units, right? And hence, this is also a day-to-day factor which affects our cost. Machine hours, the number of units which you are producing affects our machine hours. So, machine hours also keeps on changing every day. Quality control depends on, quality control is inspection and testing of the product. So, the number of units which you have produced also affects the quality control. Hence, quality control cost will also be affected every day. Next, inventory management keeps on changing on the basis of number of units which you have utilized and the number of units which is remaining on the stock. And that also keeps on changing on the basis of day-to-day operations. And hence, these are executional cost drivers, which are the day-to-day factors which affect cost. Worker efficiency will affect our labor cost, our material cost. Why material cost? Because if worker is not efficient or doing the work properly, then he might use extra material as compared to what should be required. Similarly, unit produced will affect our material cost, labor cost, because material and labor are directly dependent on units produced. If unit produced increases, material and labor cost also increases. Machine hours affect our power cost. Quality control affects our quality control cost. Inventory management affects our storage cost. Done. Now, let's move towards our third analysis, that is value chain analysis. First one is strategic positioning, which shows that where we stand compared to others, whether we are doing better, worse or similar. Cost driver analysis shows the reasons due to which cost is incurred, so that we can focus on the reasons why the cost is incurred and analyze them and improve them so that we can reduce our actual cost. And these cost drivers are of two types, structural and executional. Now let's move forward to our next analysis, that is value chain analysis. As the name suggests, there should be some chain here, right? To understand this, let's take an example of chain game. Have you played this chain game in your childhood? If played, good enough. If not, let me just tell you what happens here. There is one chaser, let's name him Ramu. So Ramu is the chaser who has to out each and every children available there. So what he will do is, he will touch hands of the person whom he has to out. So let's take that Ramu has first chased Chinky and touched his hand. So Chinky is out now. So what both of them will do, they both will hold hands together and they will make out each and every person there. So if Chinky or Ramu holding hands together touch any other person, then he will also be out and he will also be part of the chain now. Similarly, if all the three of them together holding hands, if they touched the other person, then they will also be out and become part of the chain. If you were the chaser, would you prefer a person who is like a crying child who keeps on crying every time? If he gets out first, then he will cry and he'll not be holding your hand and properly running so that you can out other persons also. Would you prefer that person? Answer is no. So as a chaser, you will prefer a person who runs faster, who is able to catch other persons. So what you want in your chain, you want a person who can add value. If a person diminishes value of your chain, then you will not prefer to out that person early. And that is what a chaser thinks of. That he wants that in his chain, he is adding the persons who adds value earlier. Similar case is in value chain analysis. In value chain analysis, our aim is to have those activities which add value in our product or services. If any activity is not adding any value in our product or services, just remove it. No need to keep on doing an activity which is actually is of no use. Now, what is value here? Value can be of two types. First, if the activity is able to reduce cost, value adding activity. If the activity is able to differentiate my product from other competitors, it is a value adding activity. Okay, so in value chain analysis, we focus on those activities which add values to our product and we try to reduce their cost or improve their differentiation so that we can perform better than our competitors. Now, let's see what actually value chain means. We have seen it with the help of example. Now, let's see what definition tells us. Value chain is introduced by Michael Porter in 1985. It's a powerful tool which breaks down company. With the help of this tool, we actually divide our company into different parts. And we divide it into strategically relevant activities. Now, what is strategically relevant activities? Activities which support our long-term strategy is known as strategically relevant activities. So, we want to divide our whole company into different activities which actually support our long-term strategy. Why we are dividing our company into different activities? So that we can focus on our competitive advantage. Either lowering cost or either higher prices. How higher prices will be achieved? When you are providing different products. Done. So we are dividing our company into different parts, and these parts are known as strategically relevant activities. Strategically relevant activities means the activities which are supporting our long-term strategy, and we are doing this, we are breaking our company into strategic relevant activities so that we can focus on competitive advantage, either lowering cost or increasing differentiation, which will eventually help us to charge higher prices. Done? So let's just revise. What is the definition of value chain? Value chain was introduced by Michael Porter in 1985. It's a powerful tool for breaking down company into strategically relevant activities to focus on the competitive advantage, which is either lowering cost or higher prices. Done. Now, value chain is never isolated. Isolated means you'll not follow your value chain completely alone. You'll have some companies upstream and companies downstream. Together, all of you will provide value to the customer. Now, what does companies upstream mean? Companies upstream means company which is coming before you, and that is the company which will provide you raw materials. So think about it. If your raw material is of not good quality, then how your product will be of good quality? So the first one in your value chain who adds value is the supplier. So supplier should provide raw material which is of good quality, then only your product will become of good quality and your customers will get a good quality product. So first, value will be added by the supplier. Second, you will be the one adding value to your product by performing operations in it. And at the end, after making the product, if the product is not delivered to the customer on time, and if the product is not presented in the shop on time, then will your product be sold to the customer? Answer is no. The whole value chain which you followed, your upstream supplier followed, you followed, is of no use if the product is not delivered to the customer, right? And hence the companies downstream, that means your distributors, play a huge role in providing that product to the customer, because if the product is not delivered to the customer, then it's of no use. And that is why value chain is never isolated, because companies upstream, our company and companies downstream together create final value to our customers. Done. Think about it. If your supplier fails, then product suffers, because product becomes of bad quality if supplier is providing bad quality material, even if your operations are really good. If our distributor fails, then customer will get a delayed product which customers don't want, and hence customer might not buy from you again. This was our value chain. Now let's understand that how with the help of value chain, different types of companies add value to the product. The first one is manufacturer. Manufacturer takes the raw material and convert it into a final product. This conversion process is the value addition which manufacturer does. Similarly, think about retailers. They are not actually making the product itself, right? So how they are adding value to you? Think about it. How retailer is adding value for the customers? They take product from different manufacturers and provide it to you all together. Milk might be coming from some other manufacturer, eggs, and let's take an example of kurkure, chips. All of these are coming from different manufacturers. So retailer is providing all of them to you together so that you need not go different places to get different things. And that is what the convenience which a retailer is adding to you, and that is the value which retailer provides to you. Even retailers also provide shoppers advice, and that is also a value addition which retailer provide to you. So these are the value added by a retailer even if he is not the one who is making the product. Now let's take an example of insurance companies. Insurance company will take policy from reinsurer and provide it to you in a customer friendly way. Now what does this mean? Will insurance company will go to some other insurance company to get an insurance, and then it will provide to us. So let's understand this with an example. Tata Motors wants an insurance, a fire insurance of worth 500 crore. So what it will do? It will go to an insurance company. They went to New India Insurance. But the thing is, New India Insurance can afford only up to 100 crore of cover. Now, what does this mean? It means that when Tata Motors might have a fire in their factory, then New India Assurance will only be able to provide 100 crores to Tata Motors, not more than that. So what New India Assurance will do? Will they tell Tata Motors that we won't be able to provide you 500 crore policy, so go to someone else? Answer is no. They'll not let their customers go from them. So what they will do? They will go to a reinsurer, which is General Insurance Corporation in our India. It is a reinsurer whose aim is only to provide insurance to insurance companies. So what New India Assurance will do, as it has only a cover of up to 100 crore, it will go to General Insurance Company reinsurer and tell them to provide a 400 crore cover. Of course, they will charge some price for the same, and New India Assurance will pay it to them. And then, as it has 100 crore from itself, 400 crore from General Insurance, and hence it can provide a total 500 crore cover to Tata Motors, and hence they will sell a policy of 500 crore to Tata Motors. So what they added, they provided convenience or a customer friendly way policy to their customers, and hence this is the way they add value to the customers. So different businesses add values in different ways. I'm also providing you a service of teaching. You have taken my classes because you think I can add value to your studies. There was an option for you that you can read from books. Why you choose that we'll take classes from Palak ma'am? Answer is, you think that reading from book is actually inconvenient, it is boring, and it might happen that you might not get an understanding of some of the things directly reading from the book. And that is why you took classes. So this is the way I am adding value to you, and that is the reason why you pay to me. So every goods or services which we take them due to the reason that we think that they are adding value to our life. And this value addition is done by the companies using value chain. Now, why value is created? Why organizations are creating value? Think about it. If they create value, then only they will be able to sell the products to you, and then only they will earn revenue, right? Value can be added both ways. Whether they are providing the same product to you at lower cost, that is also a value to you. If they are providing something different at higher prices, that is also a value for the customer. Hence, value creation can be done by the companies different ways, but this value creation is done for the customer so that they can buy our products. And if customer buys our product, this leads to revenue for the organization. So, higher value creation by the company leads to higher revenue for the organization. If revenue is higher, profit margin also increases for the company. But the thing is, there is one thing which we also need to consider, and that is cost. If you want to earn higher profits, then your revenue should be higher, but your cost should be lower, and then only profit will be higher. Profit margins will be higher. And that is what is mentioned here. Value creation, which denotes revenue. Cost of creating that value, that means the cost incurred by the organization to produce the product, and the profit margin. If value is higher, cost is lower, then only profit margin will be higher. And that is the reason why value is created, because higher value creation leads to higher profit margin for the organization. Done. Now, before understanding the next part, let's just write whatever things we have understood till now. So open your summary book and write 3 pillars of strategic cost management. I'm starting with a new page now. You can mention here that it is a part of our class 2, second class of chapter 1. 3 pillars of strategic cost management. What are pillars? Pillars are important support. Here, pillars are providing support to what? Strategic cost management, and hence we'll write it as important support of strategic cost management. We have three different types of pillars. What are they? Tell me, what are the three pillars? The first one is strategic positioning analysis. Second, cost driver analysis. Third, value chain analysis. If you notice, in value chain analysis, we have understood till now that what is value chain. But we didn't understood that how value chain analysis will be done. We'll understand the same thing while writing the summary. Okay? So write it down. The first one is strategic positioning analysis. Second, cost driver analysis. And the third one is value chain analysis. Strategic positioning analysis tells us where company stands compared to others. Stand means, are we in a cost leader group or we are in a product differentiator group? Compared to others means whether we are doing in that group better, worse or similar to that of our competitors. This is our strategic positioning analysis, where we are analyzing our position as compared to that of our competitors. Next is cost driver analysis. Cost driver analysis is done for analyzing our cost drivers, why they are increasing or decreasing our cost. Done. Write it down. Every cost has a cause or reason, something that drives it. Every cost has a reason, and that reason is the one that drives the cost, and this is known as cost driver. Let's write the examples. Cost driver and cost. So, material cost is dependent on units produced. So, units produced is the cost driver of material. Power is dependent on machine hours. Transportation cost is dependent on distance traveled. Now, next we understood different types of cost drivers. First one is executional and second is structural cost driver. Executional driver means day-to-day factors, day-to-day operational factors which affect cost, and structural drivers means long-term factors that affect costs. Let's write some examples of what will be known as executional and structural cost drivers. Executional is worker efficiency, units produced, machine hours, inventory management, quality control. Next, structural cost drivers. Location of factory, technology used, scale of operations, distance. Now let's write about value chain analysis. So what is value chain? Value chain is made up of different activities which add value to our final product, and hence it is known as value chain. So first we are writing about value chain, and then we will discuss about what is value chain analysis. A company does many activities to make and deliver products. Together, these activities form a value chain. So, we perform different activities to make and deliver our products. Together, these activities form a value chain. Now, value chain analysis. Value chain analysis, as the name suggests, we are going to analyze our value chain to find it out where we can reduce our cost, where we can add more differentiation so that we can charge higher prices. So at the end, value chain analysis is nothing but analyzing our value chain or understanding our value chain, evaluating our value chain. Write it down. Studies these activities carefully to see which activities add value or reduce cost, which activities add more differentiation or reduce cost, and which activities or what are the activities which just add cost. So, in value chain analysis, we analyze the activities to understand that how we can add more value, how we can reduce our cost, or what are those activities which are just adding cost and is of no value to us, so that we can remove those activities which are not adding any value in our organization or the product. Done. Now, let's go deeper in our value chain analysis. Why we are going deeper in value chain analysis and not in structural strategic positioning analysis or cost driver analysis? The answer is strategic positioning analysis is about comparison, which we have already understood. There is nothing else here. In cost driver analysis, we are analyzing our cost, and how to analyze, we have differentiated it also executional and structure. But value chain analysis involves different elements, different activities. We need to understand them. How value chain analysis is actually followed, or what are the steps which is followed to do value chain analysis. We need to understand that also, and that is why we need a detailed discussion about value chain analysis. Write it down. Value chain analysis. We understood a good definition about value chain, right? What was the definition? A powerful tool of breaking down company into strategically relevant activities to focus on competitive advantage, which is product lower prices, lower cost or higher prices. We need to write it down here. Value chain. Who introduced value chain? Michael Porter in 1985. What is value chain? A powerful tool. What we do with this powerful tool? We break down our company. Breaking down company into strategically relevant activities. So value chain is a powerful tool with the help of which we break down our company into strategically relevant activities. Why we are breaking it down? To focus on the source of competitive advantage, so that we can focus on those activities which can provide us competitive advantage. And competitive advantage can be of two different types. The first one is lower cost. The second one is higher prices. You will be able to charge higher prices only when your product is differentiated from others. Done. Let's see how this definition looks in our book. So, value chain analysis. Introduced by Michael Porter, breaking down the value chain is a powerful tool for breaking down a company into its strategically relevant activities in order to focus on the source of competitive advantage, that is the specific activities that result in lower cost or higher prices. This is what we have written in our notes also. Done. Now, next we understood that value chain is never isolated. It is a part of bigger value chain which includes companies upstream and companies downstream. Write it down. Value chain is never isolated. It's a part of bigger value system. Which includes companies upstream, that is suppliers, and companies downstream, that is our distributors. Together, they create value for customers. Next we understood that how value is created. I hope you have written all of these. If not, you can pause the video once and write it down. Now, let's move forward Just make sure that you are writing with me, because writing helps us to recall everything easily. And when you will be revising these things, right? It's better to read from your notes as compared to that of your book. Your book includes each and everything. But the thing is, it will be easier for you to read from the notes, your handwritten notes, as compared to reading it from the book. Okay? Done. Now move forward to how value is created. And that is why I am trying to make your notes as short as possible. Not making you write everything. Making you write things in a shorter manner so that it's not heavy on you while writing, and also it's not heavy on you while revising everything. You can revise it as fast as possible. How value is created? So we have understood, or we took different examples to understand this. So the first one is manufacturer. How manufacturer adds value? He converts raw material into final product. Next, retailer. Retailer adds value by providing you products together. Providing you a convenience of buying everything from one place itself, no need to go to different shops. Next is insurance companies. What they do? They take the policy from reinsurers and provide you in a customer friendly way. Done. This is how value is created by different types of companies. Now we are writing about why value is created. Why value is created? So, if value creation is higher, cost of creating that value is lower, then it leads to higher profit margins. To earn higher profit margins, we create value in our products or for the customers. Done. This was everything what we understood till now. Let's move forward to our next part, where we are going to understand the Potter's value chain elements. Why am I calling it as Potter's value chain? The reason is, who made it? Michael Potter, right? So that is why it is known as Potter's value chain. So we are going to understand what are the activities involved in this value chain. And for that, I am taking one example of a biscuit factory. We can name this biscuit factory as Parle-G Biscuit Factory. Have you eaten this Parle-G biscuits? I hope you might have. It is there from our childhood, from our parents' childhood, right? So everyone would have somewhere seen it or might be eaten it also. So Parle-G Biscuit Factory, what happens there? So the first thing is raw material comes in. The raw materials are sugar, milk or flour. All of that comes in the organization, and it didn't goes directly to the operations in the factory. We keep all the raw material in the storage, and whenever the production is happening, from the storage, raw material is shared in the production. In the production, what happens is, the first thing is mixing. All the ingredients all the raw materials which we have, we first mix all of them, right? Then they are baked, and then they are packed in the biscuit packet which you get. But the thing is, are this mixing, baking and packing is happening with employees? Are employees involved in doing this? Answer is no. Machines are the one which are doing this in a really fast and automated manner. There is no requirement of employees in mixing, baking and packing the product. But for just an understanding, I have given images of employees, but this actually in this kind of bigger factory like Parle-G is happening completely with the help of machines. Now, after the production or operation is completed, the product should go to the customers, right? And for that, first all the product which is completed is kept in a warehouse, and then it is transported to distributors. The distributors' work is to distribute this product to all the shops from where the customer is actually going to buy. So these distributors will provide the product to different shops, and these shops are from where the customer will buy the product. Done. But the thing is, think about it. Even after your product has converted from raw material through operation and is distributed by the distributor to shops, are you going to buy that product? Answer is no. If you don't know that product, think about it. Parle-G to you know because you have seen those ads. But if you have not seen those ads, would you be the one who is going to buy the Parle-G biscuit? Answer is no. There should be some advertisement or marketing of the product so that customer knows the product and buys it when he goes to the shop. So marketing and advertisement plays a great role in selling the product. Let's take an example of an advertisement which I have seen of Parle-G, which tells that happiness comes from doing something for other. Now let's understand that how they explain it in a beautiful manner with the help of this advertisement. But the thing is, there is something which happens at the end which you will also feel like happiness is from others, right? So why this person has not done something from others? Is he not eating Parle-G? This is the story. Let's just understand that what happens here. So there is one sister and she has one younger brother. So both of them are coming from school and going to their home. What happens is his younger brother keeps on playing with some stone every time he comes back from school. But one day what happens? She finds a shop. And at that shop there was a beautiful doll. So she keeps on seeing that with a smile. Like it's very beautiful. But the thing is, as she don't have money, so she is not buying it. She's just seeing it. Shopkeeper also sees that girl with happiness that she's liking that doll. But as she is not having money, she is not buying it. Good enough. So this happens every day. Every day both the sister and brother comes from school. Brother plays with the stone and she stops at the shop and sees that doll. But one fine day what happens is she collected some money and she went to that shop very fast. And what happens is the shopkeepers also thinks that now she collected the money for doll and she'll buy the doll. So after seeing the money, the shopkeeper takes the doll and give it to her. But the thing is, she says that I don't want that doll. I want a ball. So the thing is, this sister is buying a ball for his younger brother so that he need not play with the stone because his stone goes inside the car and he gets irritated with that. So what she thinks is she'll give that ball to him so that he can play nicely. Even if she likes the doll, she buys a ball for his younger brother, which is a very good thing, right? But the thing is, if I were the shopkeeper who found out that a younger girl who wanted that doll for herself, but just for his brother's happiness, bought ball with that money, I would be the one who has given the doll to her. Because this ad says the same thing, right? The happiness comes from doing something for others. Why the shopkeeper is not doing? He is not eating Parle-G. He gives that ball to her and smiles on her face. What is this? Batao zara. So this happens in this ad. It was a good ad. It was showing happiness. But the thing is, the shopkeeper might has showed some generosity and has given that doll to her. You can see this advertisement on YouTube if you want to. It is very interesting. Now, after that, there are advertisements which are like if you can give the advertisement in paper as well. So Parle G does that also. Earlier the Parle G biscuits were Parle Gluco. They are known as Parle G Gluco. And this Gluco, Parle Gluco was the name, and that is what are afterwards named as Parle G. So this was the advertisement. If you want, you can see this advertisement in YouTube if you want to. And similar advertisements come on newspapers also. So in newspaper, this types of ad were run by the Parle G. If you notice, the name is Parle Gluco, and this was the biscuit, which afterwards named as Parle G. And now they named this G as Genius. Earlier they called this as Parle Gluco, but now they call it as Parle G and G for Genius. So this is the packaging, and the advertisement can also be done with the packaging. Here we know this girl from a very long time. Every time we see this Parle G biscuit, we have this girl in the packaging. So this packaging also plays a greater role in marketing the product. Done. After marketing, the product will be sold to the customer. But think about it, just by selling the product, will our work will be done? Answer is no. After selling the product, there is a requirement for customer support also. Think about it, if the product is damaged or expired, whom should I contact to? I'll go to the shopkeeper, but if shopkeeper is not understanding my concern, then I need to go to the company, and that is why companies have this customer support also. So Parle G will have their own customer support where you can call if you found something complicated or the product is not the one which you should get. You can contact their customer supports. Okay, so this is the whole process which companies follow to give you the final product. Now, these all the process are the activities of our value chain. Let's understand that what we call them in our value chain activities. The first part is our raw materials are coming in the organization. They are stored in a storage, and whenever there is a need of raw material, we provide it to the operations, right? This whole process is known as inbound logistics. Inbound logistics, as the name suggests, we are taking something in our organization. That is why it is known as inbound logistics. Raw material is coming in our organization. Then after the material has came, put it in the storage, and then whenever there is a need for production, we provide the raw material to the production department. And when the production happens, we call it as operations. Operations are the one which convert the raw material into final product. After the product is converted, our product is distributed or provided to the shops, right? And that is what is known as outbound logistics. Everything, keeping the final product to the warehouse, then transporting it to distributors, distributor transporting it to the shop, all of these are part of outbound logistics. Now it can happen that these distributors, these shops are company owned, but normally it happens that the shops and distributors are someone other than the company. Like some other persons are buying from us as a wholesaler and then selling it to the retailer shops. They are not connected to the company. So outbound logistics, that is the distributor's work, can be done by the company itself, or some external people also can do the same. Now after outbound logistics, we need to do marketing and sales of our product. So this part of advertisements, packaging, giving discounts to the customers are part of marketing and sales. After marketing and sales also, there is a need for customer support or replacements or warranties or repair in different products. In biscuit, there is no warranty or repair, I understand. But let's take an example of mobile phone. There is a requirement of warranty, repairs. And for that, this service is required. After sales service is required. And this is known as service in our activities or elements of Porter value chain. Now all of these activities which we have understood till now are known as primary activities of value chain. Why they are known as primary activity? Because these are the activities, direct activities, which are converting our final product, which are converting our raw material into final product and providing it to the customer. So these are the direct activities which are connecting us to our customers. But the thing is, there are some secondary activities or support activities also. Because think about it, organization can't run only with these activities. We need different other activities also which support these primary activities, and that is why they are known as support or secondary activities. Now let's understand what these support or secondary activities are. So we have understood everything about our biscuit factory and the primary activities. Let's understand the secondary activities now. The first secondary activity is procurement. Think about it. With the help of inbound logistics, we are just getting our material into our organization. But the first thing which we need to do is purchasing the material, selecting the vendor, doing agreements with him, making a quality agreement that this type of quality product we want for our raw materials, right? So how all of these will happen? All of these doesn't happen in inbound logistics. Inbound logistic work is only of transporting or getting the material into the organization. But making contract with the supplier, getting material purchased, selecting the vendors, all of these is done in procurement. So vendor selection, price negotiation, quality of input, contract terms, purchase orders, all of these will be done in procurement activity of value chain. Now these activity can be done for material and machines also. Organization needs machines, and machine dealing will also be done in the procurement part of the activity of value chain. Now next activity is human resource management. Think about it. We need machines, we got it from procurement. We need raw material, we got it from procurement and inbound logistics. But the thing is, there is requirement for employees also in the organization. How you will get your material into the organization? You need some employees who will transport your material to the organization. For dealing with the vendor, there is a need for employee. Even if your whole operation is performed through machines, but there is requirement of employees in the organization for connecting everything, for connecting all the activities, and that is why employees are needed. So we need human resource management. In human resource management, we recruit our employees, get them into the organization, train them in the way we want them to work, motivate them so that they can work with efficiency and with productivity in the organization. And at the end, we want to retain our employees, because think about it, if you have taught everything to the employee and then they leave, it's just an expense for the organization without any benefit. And that is why it's very important to retain all the employees in the organization, because if they leave, you lose those skilled employees which you have skilled from a very long period of time. And that is why retaining is very important in the organization. This is the whole process which we follow for human resource management. Now, there should be, think about it, Parle G biscuits might not have made like just make it, they got to know all the ingredients which should go inside it. They might have done research and development for the same, that how should this biscuit should be built. Even for the packaging, there might be a research and development team. So research and development is required when you are building the product. And this part comes under technology development. Technology development deals with research and development, the technology we are going to use, the development of IT systems which we are going to use, the innovations which we are going to put in our product. All of these becomes part of the technology development activity. Like we have an automated baking machine. We might have designed it ourselves, or we might have got it from others. So this is a technology development, developing our technology so that we can perform work more easily or in a more automated manner. Similarly, we might have built a quality control system for our quality control of the biscuit. We might have built an online sales system so that we can sell our products online also. All of these systems, designs are developed in technology development activity. Next comes the infrastructure, which is like the support system which keeps the company running smoothly. Like we need accounting so that everything is recorded with us. We need financing so that our finance or the money is managed properly. We need a legal team who can help us follow every act or rules or regulations which applies on us. And we need a management so that the company is managed properly. All of these comes in the infrastructure or the support of the company, which helps the company to run smoothly. And these four are the support activities of our organization or the secondary activities. What are they? The first one is procurement, next human resource management, technology development, and last is infrastructure. So we have understood all the activities which comes under value chain. The first one is primary activities and the second one is secondary or support activities. Now let's just write all of these in our summary book. Start with a new page because the whole page will be required for this. Elements of Potter's value chain. Primary activities and secondary activities. Let's first focus on primary activities. Secondary, you can write here support activities also. Relates directly to physical creation, sales, maintenance, and support of product or service. So these are direct activities. Can be divided into 5 parts or 5 activities. First one is inbound logistics. Next is operations. Then outbound logistics. Then marketing and sales. And the last one is service. Now, inbound logistics means getting something in the organization. Outbound logistics means getting something out of the organization. And when the final product is completed, we take the product out of the organization so that we can provide it to the customers, right? Now, inbound, what we do in inbound logistics? We receive, we store, and distribute the inputs internally. So input is received, then stored in a storage and provided to the production department whenever the need is there. And that is the whole process which we follow in our inbound logistics. Now think about it. How your inbound logistic will perform really well? When you have a good relationship with your supplier, right? If we don't have a good relationship with the supplier, we'll not be able to get materials on time. and provide it to the production department on time. And that is why we need a good relationship with the supplier here. So, supplier relationship is important factor here. Next, operations. Operation means transforming input into output, right? Write it down. Transformation activities that change input into output. So converting the raw material into final product is transformation activity. Why we are not writing here raw material and final product? Why we are writing input into output? The reason is, in services, we don't convert the service into final product. We convert it into a service, right? And that is why we are writing output, so that we are not only focusing on the product, we are focusing on every output which is generated by the organizations. Similarly, in input, there might be some inputs which are known as raw material, but there might be some of the inputs which are not known as raw material, which might be known something else. There might be situations that I'm taking some service to provide the output, and that is why we are saying here input, so that all the raw materials or services which you have taken to produce your output, you have covered everything. Done. So for operations, what is the thing which creates value? Your operational system. Your operational system should be smooth, efficient, with low wastage. Then your operation system will help us to create value here. Next, outbound logistic. Deliver product or service to customers. To deliver the product or service to the customer, we need this outbound logistic. Includes collection, that means collecting all the final product, warehousing it, transporting it to the distributor, or we can tell it as wholesalers. Then this wholesalers will provide the product to retailers or the shop owners, and then retailers will sell the product to the customers. Now this distribution may be external or internal, which we have understood earlier itself, that distributors, that means wholesalers, retailers, transportation can be ours or can be of other than our company. Distributors may be internal or external to the organization. Next, marketing and sales. Marketing and sales are the processes used to persuade. Persuade means convince. We are using some process so that we can convince the customer to buy from our company rather than buying the product from our competitors, clients, or customers. Marketing and sales are the processes used to persuade or convince the clients or customers to purchase from our firm. Done. How marketing and sales create value? Creates value through benefits offered plus how well they are communicated to customer. So, how marketing and sales can create value? If you are providing some benefits to the customer like discounts, or some promotion, buy one get one types. These are the benefits which you can offer to the customer so that you can attract customers. But the thing is, these benefits will give you value or more customers only when they are communicated well to the customer. If customer don't know that you are running a policy of buy one get one, then how he will buy or how he will be attracted to your company? So the two very important things of marketing and sales to create value is, first, provide some benefits to the customer, and the second, communicate those benefits to the customer really well, and that is the only way to get more and more customers. Think about Apple. Apple is providing differentiated product, but those differentiated product needs a lot of advertising and marketing to tell people that this product is different from other companies' product. So you should communicate all the benefits which you are providing to your customer, and that is the only way to get more and more customers through marketing and sales. Done. Next, service. Service is maintaining product or service once it has been purchased. So after customer has bought our goods or services, we are providing some maintenance support, and that is the part of service, which includes warranty, after sale support, replacements of the product, all of these are services provided after the product is sold to customer. Done. So these were the primary activities. I hope you have written all of these. If not, just pause the video, write it down, and now let's move forward to our next part, that is support or secondary activities. What they do, they support the activities, or we can write directly as they support the primary activities. How many support activities we have? 4 support activities. First one is procurement. Next is human resource management. Next, technology development. And last is infrastructure. Procurement. Organization does to get resources it needs to operate. So to operate the organization, what all resources you need, you get it from procurement. Includes finding vendor, negotiating prices, quality selection, contracts made. These are the procurement activities. Now, HR management includes recruitment or hiring, training. Recruitment means like the advertisement which we need to put. Take the interviews of the employees, whether they are good enough or not, and then selecting that employee is hiring. Then training the employees, motivating them, providing them rewards so that we can retain them in the organization. If we are having good HR practices, human resource management practices are good in the organization, it itself creates a significant source of value, because if you are able to retain your employees who are trained enough or skilled enough to perform your work really well, then it actually creates a good or significant value for the organization. Next is technology development, which involves research and development, process improvement, designing the product, automating our work in the organization, using new technologies, new or advanced technologies which can help in the organization. Next, infrastructure, company support system, which involves accounting, finance, legal, and general management. Done. So these were the elements of value chain. Now let's write about value chain analysis. We have understood about what is value chain analysis, that we are analyzing our value chain to understand how activities are performed, whether they are adding value to our organization or not. And that is what we do in value chain analysis. Just write it down in a detailed manner. Value chain analysis. Method through which company looks at all its primary and secondary activities. So value chain is a method through which company looks at all its primary and secondary activities. Just looking is not the work of value chain analysis. We analyze the activities. Analyze them to see where it can reduce cost or increase differentiation. So first look at all the activities, what all activities are there, and then analyze them to look or find out where you can reduce cost or where you can add more differentiation. Done. Now let's move forward. So these are all the activities, are primary and secondary activities, which is mentioned here with the help of diagram. This is primary activities and these are secondary activities. If I add in my all activities, if I add margin, I'll know the value created. We have seen the formula of value created, right? Value created minus cost of value creation is equal to profit margin. Or else, can I write it like this? Value created is equal to profit margin plus cost of value. Can I write it like this? Of course, yes. So, if you notice, with the help of this diagram, this is presented. We have value, cost of value created. All the activities which we are performing leads to cost, and these leads to cost of creating value. If I add profit margin in it, I can know the value created. Done. So, cost of creating value plus profit margin is equal to value created in the organization. Done. Moving forward to our next part, that is steps involved in developing or implementing value chain analysis. If you want to do value chain analysis, you need to follow these 5 steps. The first step is identify all value chain activities. When we say identify all value chain activities, we doesn't only mean that we want these headings. These headings are required, but the thing is every heading or every activity involves some sub-activities. Like inbound logistic involves receiving, storing and distributing. We want every sub-activity also. So when we say here that identify all value chain activity, we want everything which you are performing in a particular activity. If inbound logistic is there, what all you are performing inside it, we want to know in detail. If technology development is there and you found out that you are performing an activity in technology development which is known as product design, then we just not want this sub-activity, we want the details of sub-activity also. Like in product design, we will have a design team, the number of employees involved, the time taken to perform the task, the number of tasks involved in this activity. We want everything in detail. So identify all value chain activities. Every activity which help you create your product, you need to list it down here. Do this for both primary and support activity. Both of them will be analyzed in detail. We just not say that we have a design team. We'll say in detail that how many people are involved, how many tasks is involved, how much time that task will take, what all material or tools will be used here. Everything in detail will be mentioned here. And think about it. If you are going on every activity in such a deeper manner, it actually takes a lot of time. And it's not a task of one person that you are giving one person to do this step 1. This is to be done collectively by all the departments or all the members of the department, because they know that what all task is performed in their department and how much time it is taking, the number of employees involved. Everything is known by that department employees only. And that is why every department should be involved. Every department should have one employee representing or recording all the value chain activities they are performing. Done. So this is our first step where we are recording all the value chain activities. Next, calculate the cost of each activity. So we have recorded every activity in detail. Now every activity might involve some cost in it. So we'll record the cost also. Every task which is performed in a particular activity will be recorded with the amount involved in that particular task. And this is done for each and every activity so that we can know the exact cost involved in performing activities. Now, why we want to know the exact cost? So that we can find out that what are the most expensive activities and what are the activities which are adding more value. Like, let's take an example to understand this. We have a coffee of rupees 250. When we analyze that how this 250 cost is coming, so we got to know that rupees 1 goes to coffee bean through which we make the coffee, and rupees 249 goes to other rest activities. Think about it. The most important element of the coffee is the coffee bean, which is least valued, and the other things involve a higher or most expensive cost for the organization. So this is what we want to know. We want to know what are the most expensive activities and what are the most value adding activities. Now, when we know that 249 is for some other things, we'll go more deeper in this. Like what all things is involved in 249. We have a milk cost, we have rent cost, we have salary cost. All of these different costs will be evaluated and found out that all the activities which we are performing, each and every activity has what cost. Now, after knowing that what all activities involve what cost, you should try to reduce the cost in every manner possible. Like if my rent is too high and I know that rent gives me a space to manufacture my product, I understand that. But the thing is, if rent is too high, then it is necessary to reduce it. You can do this by negotiating prices with your landlord, or you can do this by going to some other place where you can get a lower rent as compared to what you are paying right now. Similarly, if staff cost is very high, you should try to reduce it by not reducing the rewards of the employees, but by not giving them overtime. Don't make them do overtimes. Why? Because overtime leads to less productivity plus higher cost. When you are telling worker that you need to work after your normal working time, you need to pay extra for the same. And if you are paying extra for the same, plus the productivity is also lower, then it's of no use. Try to reduce it. Don't do overtimes. If you think that we need more work from the organization or the employees, what you can do is you can do shift schedules. You can do one shift of 8 hours of a particular employees and one shift of 8 hours of different employees, so that you can get more productivity at lower cost. So we are trying to reduce different types of costs. And if you think that you won't be able to reduce your cost, what you can do is you can try to add more value. So there are two things which organizations focuses on: either reducing cost or either creating more value. If you think that your cost can't be reduced more, you can focus on adding more value. Done. The more detailed and correct your calculations are, the better decisions you will be able to make. It's very important thing that the calculations of cost which you are doing should be exact. If that is not good, if that is not correct, then your whole calculations or understanding or reduction which you are doing in the particular activities will be of no use. You will not be able to make better decisions if you will not evaluate your cost or get an exact cost. Done. Next is step number 3. Look at what your customers perceive as value. Customer perception is very important for the organization. Now, how customers make this perception? They evaluate every time value on the basis of price you are charging. When they think that the price which is charged by the company is justified for the value they are providing, then only they will buy at the price you are charging. And if they are not buying at the price you are charging, you might need to give discounts to the customer so that you can attract them, and that affects your profit margin. Hence, customer connect value with the price and the perception, what customer perceive. Whether customer perceive your product as valuable at the price you are charging, good enough. If they don't perceive the product valuable at price you are charging, then your profit margin get impacted because you might need to give discounts to the customer so that they buy your product. Now, to know what customers truly value, we need to understand their psychology. And to understand their psychology, we need to collect data from the past sales or the feedbacks which we got from the customers. Evaluate those data, evaluate those feedbacks to understand that what customers actually want from us. What are the products they are buying? How they are making the buying decision? Why they are buying this particular product? Evaluate each and everything. And then these insights will be used by your sales team to qualify the customers, that what are the customer categories we should focus on, or what are the extra value which we can add. We can evaluate all of these with the help of data which we have collected. Value is subjective. What it means? Value is subjective. Value is subjective means the product can feel valuable to me, but it might not be valuable for you. Like, for example, I think that iPad is really helpful for me because it helps me to teach you in a really efficient manner. But it might not be useful for you. Why? Because in the exams you need to write in a copy or paper. So you should practice in paper itself. And that is why it's not as valuable as it is for me. So value is subjective, depends on the customer, why they are using the product, it depends on that. So as Rory Sutherland explains in his TED Talk, there is no such thing as an absolute or objective value. Value keeps on changing on the basis of what particular purpose is there for which the customer is buying that product. Value depends on perception also. The social influence and group behavior also influence the value of the product. People often copy their friends, family or colleague. Think about it. If in your office everyone is having both headphones, then you might be intrigued, right? you might think that this product might be really valuable and you might also buy that product. So what happens is we value the product on the basis of what our society or the people around us is doing. Example, if in everyone in your offices start buying noise cancelling headphones, you may also start thinking that they are valuable, and even if you don't plan to buy it before, you might buy it right now after seeing everyone using it, right? So value depends on the perception of the customer. Customer value the product on the basis of price charged. Value is subjective. Value is not absolute or objective. Value depends on the surroundings in which we are. The people around us, we tend to copy them. And this is what step number 3 is telling us, that evaluate your customer so that you can understand what they value. Why we want to understand what customers value? So that we can make our sales strategy on the basis of how customers perceive our product. Done. Next is step number 4. Look at your competitors' value chain. The first step was evaluate all value chain activities. Find out all value chain activities which you are performing. Calculate their cost. Third step was what customers perceive as value. Fourth, look at your competitors' value chain so that you can know what they are doing better than you, and how they are able to attract more customers than you. So to understand value better, look at your competitors through market analysis. Now, when we are saying that looking at our competitors, we want to see what things they are doing good. But it can happen, right? Their things are not available in the market. You don't know how they perform their processes because they kept it securely. Then what you will do? You can use the industry average as benchmark. When we say benchmark, we are saying some standard which we are setting so that we can aim to achieve those benchmark. We are seeing our competitor or the industry average and we are trying to achieve that. That is our benchmark. So there are 3 main types of benchmark which you can do with your competitors. First one is process benchmarking. Seeing how they are performing their processes, and if that is very good enough as compared to what you are doing, you can set it as benchmark and try to achieve that benchmark in your processes. So compare how your processes and operations work versus how competitors handle the same task. If you found that they are handling the same task in a better way, you can use them as a benchmark and you can try to achieve that. Strategic benchmarking, where you are seeing that what is the big picture or long-term strategy of our company and their company. Performance benchmarking, where you are seeing the performance measurements like revenue, website traffic, social media reach, customer reviews and ratings of your company and your competitor's company. Who is having a good performance? You can benchmark that as well. So how to do it? How you will do benchmarking? First of all, decide what you want to benchmark. Like you want to benchmark your processes, strategies or the performance. First of all, find it out. Then research competitor for the same. If you want to do process benchmarking, find out how they perform their processes. If you are not able to find out what competitors are doing, you can use what industry averages or what normally industry follows. So research your competitors. Then compare your performance with them and identify areas where you can improve your performance. Done. Key to success. What is the key to success here? You use the latest data available. Definitely, it's very important, right? If I'm benchmarking my competitor, I should use the recent or current data available so that I can benchmark with what competitors are performing right now. You can use blogs, reports or public databases which are available from competitors to spot value gaps, areas where your competitors are performing better than you. You can find it out with the help of current data available. Done. This is our step number 4, where we are looking at our competitors' value chain. And at the end, at step number 5, we will find out our competitive advantage. What is our competitive advantage? Are we a cost differentiator? Can we move to become a cost leader? Or are we a product differentiator? Can we become the best in differentiating our product? We will find out our competitive advantage here. By now, you should know your internal cost, where you can improve and you have compared yourself with your competitors. So the next step is to stand out from your competitors. You can stand out by cost advantage or product differentiation. If you want to go for cost advantage, where you are focusing mainly on lowering your cost, you can do that by lowering your selling price as compared to that of competitors. Your aim is not to sell different product. Your aim is to sell the same product as competitor is selling, but you want to achieve cost advantage. Then you need to lower the price as compared to competitors. For lowering your price, you need to lower your cost as well. To lower your cost, you can outsource talent or tasks. You think that some of the tasks are such that if we give our time on that, it will be a wastage of time and we would not be able to focus on the most important thing we should focus on. So what you can do is, you can outsource the same task to some other person, which helps you to save your time, and as they are efficient on that particular task, it lowers your cost also. Use automation instead of manual work. If you want to lower your cost, manual work increases cost, but automation leads to reduction in cost. A lot of huge cost can be reduced by using automation. Find cheaper delivery or distribution options so that you can deliver the products easily in a cheaper manner. Cut office costs where you think that work from home can work. Use work from home rather than having office cost. Each cut in your value chain lowers your final product price and hence your cost advantage can be improved. Differentiation advantage, where you are focusing on making your product different from that of your competitors. This means making your product feel more valuable to the customer to the price they are paying. Ways to do this: you can understand your customer needs and pain points. See, when we are focusing on differentiating our product, we need to listen to the customers. What they want, what extra I can add value for the same. For that, I need to look at what are the things on which customers are facing problems, and I need to improve or find solutions for the same. So, understand customer needs and pain positions. Position your product as the best solution for those needs. First of all, understand their needs. Then position or make a such product which can be a problem solution of the problems which our customers have. Then highlight what makes your product unique compared to competitors. See, when we are focusing on differentiation, it becomes really very important that our product should be marketed and told again and again to the customers that, see, these are the things which we provide extra, which solves your problem, which is better than the competitors. You need to keep on telling this to your customers again and again. So share case studies, data showing your customer success. Mention other businesses which have used your product and get greater benefits. Your sales team actually plays a bigger role here, because if your product is different, you need to tell to the customers again and again. And who will tell them? Your marketing or sales team will be the one who communicate during pitches or closing that your product is different and how it is different from the competitors. Done. So these were 5 steps which we follow in our value chain analysis. Let's revise what all we have studied. First step was identify all the value chain activities. Second, calculate cost. Third, what customers perceive as value. Fourth, look at your competitors' value chain. Fifth, decide what will be your competitive advantage. Now, if I tell you why we started today's class and how we started today's class, we started with 3 pillars of value chain, and we already understood that these pillars help strategic cost management to decide what strategy we will follow. We will be a cost differentiator, cost leader, or a product differentiator. First, we understood where we stand, what are our costs and why cost arises, and then we understood our value chain, and through value chain analysis, we at the end, in the 5th step, we found out our competitive advantage, whether we will be a cost leader or a product differentiator. So this whole process helps us to find out our strategy of cost leader or product differentiator. Done. So these were the steps. Now open your summary book and write it down. For the steps of value chain analysis, I'll not be the one who is going to write everything for you. You are the one who is going to write the summary of value chain steps by yourself. But I'll help you to write the headings now. Okay, so write with me steps in developing value chain analysis. We have total 5 steps. Let's try to recall the steps now. First step is identify all value chain activities. Next, calculate cost of each activity. Next, look at what your customers perceive as value. Next, look at your competitors' value chain. Find out how competitors add value. And the last step is decide your competitive advantage, whether you will be a cost leader or product differentiator. Now, why ma'am, why? Why you are not helping us write this? Why you are telling us to do this ourselves? So let me just tell you something. When I was in class 11th, so there was one BST teacher, business studies teachers of ours, who used to do the same thing, who used to teach everything to us in detail, as I taught you about these steps in detail. Then after that, he made us write these headings with him, which we did together. And after that, he told us he will give us 5 minutes time. He will tell us to write these steps on our own language, on how you got an understanding, what all you understood. Just write it down. Close your book. No need to open the book. Close the book. Just write it down in your language, whatever you understood about this topic. Now, what happened with this? I used to do the same thing and it gave me greater clarity in this particular subject. I was able to grab each and everything in business study just because of these techniques, where he was the one who is making us understand the whole topic, helped us to write those steps, and then give us 5 minutes time to write all the main part or all the body of the headings by ourselves. And by doing this, I was able to score 98 marks in business studies. This was the highest marks which I scored in my 11th, or if I say in my 10th, 9th, 8th. I was not able to score this much high marks. It was possible through this technique in a theory subject, which helped me to get a great marks. Now this can help you as well, but for that you need to do this. Take 5 minutes time, pause the video and write all the steps in your own language, whatever you understood in the class. Okay? Now, this is your task which you need to do, but I can tell you something through which you can remember the steps. The first is I see customers, competitors, advantage. We are going to remember these steps through this. I see customers, competitors, advantage. I is for identify all value chain activities. C is for calculate cost of each activities. Look at what your customers perceive as value. Look at your competitors' value chain and decide your competitive advantage. Now, your work is to write that down by pausing the video right now. Now, after this, let's move towards our next part, and that is case studies. So, every topic, approximately every topic in your book includes some case studies. These case studies are just for understanding those topics in a better way. They are normally not asked in exams, but if they are asked in your exam, you should be able to write it down yourself. And for that, you need to understand those case studies in a better way. And that is what we are going to do. We will not write case studies in copy because they are not as important or the most important thing, because they are not asked in exams. They are just for understanding. And that is why you need to understand it with me. If you want to read it again, you can read it from the book because it includes those case studies. Let me just show it to you. So we are going to see one Apple's case study and Pizza Hut's. It is already included in the simplest manner in your book. You can use that. But for now, let's just understand them. First is Apple Incorporation, which started in 1976. Was founded by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak to make personal computers that normal people could use at home. So at that time, personal computers were available. But the thing is, they were not as convenient as Apple made them. And that is the reason why Apple Incorporation started. Their belief was technology should be simple and user-friendly. And that is what Apple Incorporation has done over time. They had made the technology which are already available in the most simplest and convenient manner. When Apple launched iPhones, there was available screen touch phones, but they were very complicated, used with a stylus, not as convenient as Apple made them with the help of iPhone. iPhones were the one which made keypad completely gone from the market. No keypad phones were there. iPhone was the one who made that possible. And when iPhone did that, every other company also started copying it and was able to make a screen touch convenient phone for all of us. So what Apple Incorporation has done till now? It will take the technology which is already available and has made it more convenient for us. Apple's strength is not invention. Apple has invented some of the things, but the thing is it mainly focuses on making convenience, ease of use, design, integration and better user experiences. Apple takes existing technology and turns it into something which people can actually use or actually want to use. Now, Steve Jobs thought that people actually don't know what they want. We need to show it to them and then they think that this is the thing we want. Why he said that? When companies were focusing, and we have already read about this, right? We need to focus on what customers want. But Steve Jobs says that customers actually don't know what they want. How he can say that? Think about it. When there was a generation when only landlines were available, there was no mobile phones which you can take everywhere. People were not able to think about in their dreams also that there will be a phone which they can take everywhere. You can watch movies in that. You can do whatever you want to with your phone itself. You don't need your television also. They might have not thought about it at that time. When they got to see that this can also happen, then only they generate a like or want for the same. That is what Steve Jobs' strategies were. He built the products he personally believed in because he thought that people don't know what they want until we show it to them. Apple's success came from two things. First, passion for great products and the strong value chain management which they have. And as we are studying about value chain, we need to understand that what different in value chain Apple is doing so that it becomes a greater company right now. Let's see. First of all, let's see the primary activities of value chain of Apple. Inbound logistic, that is supplies and material. So Apple has a huge supply chain, around 200 main suppliers Apple has. And 98% of Apple material come from these suppliers. Apple always demands strict quality from their suppliers, and suppliers are reviewed regularly. If they are not following those quality standards, then suppliers are changed accordingly. Operations or manufacturing. What Apple does is, Apple specifically focuses on their software or innovation part. The other part, that is assembling the products, making the components, they have given it to other companies. They have outsourced it. And that is how they are able to reduce the cost and focus on the most important thing they want to achieve. That is software and innovation. So Apple reduces its cost by outsourcing it to countries like China, India and Japan. USA, that is Apple's main head office, focuses on design and the software part. Japan companies prepare high quality components for the Apple, and India and China helps assembly and manufacturing of the Apple product. And that is how Apple is able to reduce the cost and focus on more on the differentiation part. Outbound logistic, that is the distribution of the product. So Apple distributes its product through online or through its own stores or through retailers. They have all the channels. You can buy Apple products through online. You can buy Apple products through store, or you can buy it from outside retailers also. So when Apple sells its products through their own direct channel, through their Apple website, through their own stores, they are going to earn higher profit. When they are selling it through retailers, they need to give them commission also. And that is why their profit lowers when they are selling it from other party. Marketing and sales. There they focus on design, quality and innovation. And we have already understood that when you are focusing on the differentiation part of your product, then you need to market your product really well. Tell the customers what is different in your product as compared to your competitors. And that is what marketing and sales is for when you are focusing on differentiation. And as marketing and sales is very important in differentiation, Apple spends a lot of money in it. In 2015, they have spent $1.8 billion on marketing. That is around 14,940 crore rupees. Think about it. And currently, it's 7 to 9 billions, which is equal to 74,700 crore rupees, which is a lot of money which Apple is investing in their marketing and sales. Now, next is service or after sales support. So Apple has a 1-year warranty in their product. Plus, they also provide 90 days customer support. In 90 days after buying your product, you can contact their customer support whenever you find something inconvenient or not good in your product. You can contact their customer support as well. So customers can book repairs, or the trained staffs will be there who will repair your product if there is some issue in your products. Done. So these were the primary activities which makes Apple different from other competitors. Now, if I talk about support activities, then we have one, that is procurement. We have already talked in inbound logistics that they have 200 main suppliers. So procurement is already done. There is nothing else which is different in Apple's procurement. Next is infrastructure. Infrastructure is about admin, finance, legal, accounting, which mostly every companies have similar type of accounting scenario. And that is why we are not discussing both of them. We are discussing only research and development and human resource management, which is different in Apple's scenario. Let's see. Research and development. As you are focusing on differentiation, which Apple is doing right now, they need to focus, or they need to spend a lot of money in research and development, which is the part of technology development. They invest heavily in new product development. Around $16 billion they have invested in 2019, and currently it's around $34.6 billion which they are investing in research and development. They launched 28 new or refreshed products in 2020. Refreshed products means getting some upgrade on the already available products. They have provided 28 new products. Think about it. If I talk about current number, it's 19 to 20 products, new or refreshed products which Apple has launched recently. Next is human resource management. So Apple is known for hiring and retaining talent, and it's world's most admired company. It's the number one in world's most admired company for 18 years. Think about it. It's the most admired company for employees, for customers, offers high pay, and strong reputation is there for Apple, and that is why they are able to attract good human resource and they are able to retain it in the organization. Done. Now, this was the scenario or case study of Apple. Now, let's take Pizza Hut case study. Pizza Hut started in 1958 in USA. Just after 2 years, Domino's also started in 1960. But we are now discussing about Pizza Hut. But let me just tell you, who is doing better? What do you think? Who is doing better? Domino's or Pizza Hut right now? Domino's is doing better. All over the world, Domino's is doing better as compared to Pizza Hut right now. So Pizza Hut is known for pan pizza, good dining experience, early global expansion as compared to Domino's. Pizza Hut was the one who globally expanded early. Wide menu, strong branding and marketing, and India market advantage. Pizza Hut got earlier as they were the one who came earlier in India as a Pizza Hut, as a shop where you can go and eat pizza as a proper menu like you eat normal lunch or dinner. Now, primary activities of Pizza Hut is inbound logistics, where they buy raw ingredients in huge quantity all over the world so that they can maintain the quality. Think about it. When you are buying the raw material all together from one place, then you are going to get the same quality everywhere. And that is what in inbound logistic Pizza Hut does. And also, as they are buying a lot of quantity of material all together from similar type of supplier or same suppliers, they are able to get lower cost. Operations run by local franchisee owners. Pizza Hut doesn't own all the shops they have. Some of the outlets are already, or most of the outlets are owned by the franchisees. Pizza Hut just sells the franchisee to the owner of the outlet, and they maintain the quality and standards of the Pizza Hut. Allows quick expansion in various countries, and that is why Pizza Hut was able to expand all over the world. Outbound logistics. So how they sell their services to the customer? They provide service through dine-in or home delivery. Marketing and sales. It's of course that they spend a lot of money in marketing, and that is how they attract more and more customers. Services, they provide tasty and affordable and convenient pizza, and that is their service, after sale service. See, when we talk about after sale service in the case of when you are providing service to the customer, like I am providing service to you, then what is my after sale service? Providing you proper doubt sessions and teaching you in the great manner possible. That is my after sale service. The final service which I am providing to you, that is my after sale service only. And that is in Pizza Hut also. They need to provide their main service, tasty, affordable and convenient pizza, and that will be treated as their after sale service. Done. Next is support activities. So we have 4 different types of support activities. First is infrastructure, which is similar in everywhere. So finance, legal and other essential operations, which keeps the store running. Human resource. Now this is something important. Pizza Hut don't need skilled workers. They don't need persons who already know making pizza. They need only junior or low skill level employees. Why? Because they have already made their pizza making process very simple with the help of technology development. They simplified their pizza making process for consistent and quick pizza, and they have made process such that even a lower level skilled employees can also make the pizza in the similar and same manner as other employees are making. Procurement. They are buying and negotiated for raw ingredients, equipments and tools so that they can get the raw materials at the lower cost and they can maintain the consistent quality. Done. So this was about our Pizza Hut case study. And with this, we have completed our today's topic that was 3 pillars of strategic cost management and value chain analysis. In our next class, we are going to see supply chain management. Today we have seen value chain. Tomorrow we are going to see supply chain. What is the difference among them? We are going to study it in our next class. Now it's your work to revise everything whatever we have studied today and complete the steps in your summary book. Done. So with this, we'll meet tomorrow in our next class. Till then, happy learning everyone. Radhe Radhe. Bye-bye. Bye everyone.